So in this segment, we're going to be talking about DVLA staff striking over fear of COVID, essentially COVID safety protocols within the Swansea HQ, and there are a few other places as well. And I just want to make note that these sort of outbreaks at at work offices can cause general outbreaks within the towns or cities they're in. I remember in where I live in Northampton that we had some outbreaks at factories, food making factories, and it really did boost the town's COVID rate, and it was terrifying because that put us in the top few sort of areas in the country, for COVID rates, and the lockdown in Northampton wasn't great, and it took us time to come out of it. So this is why, when it comes to workplace, offices and things like that, more businesses, especially I think the DVLA as a government agency, have to be careful here because they could start, a small wave within the area they're in. So staff at the Driving and Vehicle Licensing Agency in Swansea, the DVLA, are scared to go to work over COVID concerns, a union has said. And I don't want to see anyone saying, suck it up and blah, blah, blah. You'll get muted with a quickness. Members of the PCS union started a 4-day strike at the agency's headquarters earlier. DVLA sites in the city have recorded more than 500 cases since September, and that's a lot, I think. Especially since you would assume that most of these people could actually work from home, and I don't understand why that's not the case. A spokesman for the agency said it had followed the Welsh Government's COVID guidance at every single point, so that means either the DVLA are lying, or it means that the regulations or guidance set within Wales is not good enough. So within one of the places, a contact centre in Swansea Vale, they had more than 350 cases at the site, along with the DVLA headquarters in the Clace, I think that's how you pronounce that area of Swansea. The agency employs more than 6,000 people in the city, and the PCS said it was asking its 3,300 members at the Swansea HQ to strike to protect workers. So it looks like over half the people here are part of a union, and that union are asking its members to strike to protect their fellow workers. The union said those involved would include operational staff who had not been working from home. So you can see that the union are very concerned about workers who have to go into the office, and if COVID is spreading in these offices, you've got to ask the question of how safe are these places, because evidently it is spreading, and maybe it's the case that people are car sharing or whatever to get to work. That can cause problems as well, and you need to start talking to workers about what's going on and why the spread is happening. The DVLA has had more COVID cases than any other workplace in the United Kingdom, over 600 cases. So the DVLA has to really assess why they are doing the worst when it comes to COVID outbreaks, because this is ridiculous. Sadly there have been a fatality, and even in recent weeks we have seen people contacted at work, and we have seen cases break out at work. None of this is necessary because every other UK civil service department has a majority of people working from home, yet the DVLA insists on 2,500 people going to work every day, and we believe that is not safe, and that's not the majority of workers the DVLA employs. But the DVLA should have really looked at methods of helping people, allowing them to work from home, because it's ridiculous that the DVLA are having these sorts of outbreaks. He said the lowest paid staff were instructed to attend the office while senior managers stayed at home, adding it's a real scandal. I mean, it depends what the staff are doing, but it does add to the kind of worker against the manager kind of vibe that you're asking the lowest paid workers to go into the office whilst the managers can sit at home safely. The union's DVLA branch secretary Sarah Evans said they are being forced to take this action for the sake of not just their own health and safety, but the safety of their family and their colleagues. And once a person catches COVID, it will spread very easily to their family, and so that's how you have major outbreaks happen. They don't feel the DVLA is taking their health and safety seriously, and the DVLA need to be a bit more open about what their procedures are. It also says there is currently not a single member of staff in this. The DVLA saying that there is not a single member of staff in the 10-day isolation period out of the workforce of more than 6,000. So saying not one member of this 6,000 workforce are isolating. And I would ask them that, are they testing people regularly? Because some people are avoiding getting tests because they can't afford to take time off work. So that's something the DVLA need to really think about. But what we can gather from this is the fact that it looks as if the DVLA is one of the most unsafe places to work within the UK at the moment, because they've had, huge COVID outbreaks amongst their staff, and they have failed to get a handle on this. And that could be, the DVLA could be one of the reasons why COVID rates in Wales were so high at certain points within sort of this year and the end of last year. And if it's the case that it's the DVLA who are really spiking COVID rates, the Welsh government or the central government really need to look into this, because they're going to be the cause of massive problems within the towns and cities their offices are based in, and they could be causing more local lockdowns, which are going to cost way more money and obviously kill people potentially if they do not get a handle on the situation. So the DVLA has to do better here. They have to do better, otherwise they are going to potentially cause some spikes within these towns and cities, and you're going to cause an environment where people just don't feel safe within their workplace. And I wouldn't be surprised to see people quit or want to take time off over this, because last thing you want to do is infect your family with COVID, especially if you have older people within living within your house or your flat or whatever kind of place you live in. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. DVLA, do better. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.